Hey everybody, it's Wes. I recently spent 2 weeks living out of a camper van while exploring Iceland's south coast during the winter. This video will highlight my camper van setup so you can be prepared for anything that Iceland's unpredictable winter season throws at you. If you need more help planning your winter trip to Iceland, figuring out what to pack, or would like to join me on a trip to Iceland in the future, be sure to check out the links in the video description for more information. And with that, let's jump into my camper van back at the Reykjavik campsite.
Hey guys, welcome. And on this episode of MTV Cribs, I'm going to be showing you the inside of my Go Camper rental. First thing to call out is I believe this is the smallest option that they had, which works totally fine for one person, but I think after living in it for almost 2 weeks, it would be kind of hard to make it work for two people, unless you're packing really light or you're not going to be here for as long. But I'm going to try to kind of show you how I've got it set up a little bit more so for the evenings, which is when I kind of shift stuff around and make the back area a little bit more livable.
So in here, down here, I've got my hiking backpack, which is stuffed with my camera bag, water, drone gear, that kind of stuff. I take that with me pretty much everywhere I go. I'll throw my tripod in there. Over here, we've got my water supply, which I've been filling up every few days. Definitely want to stay hydrated. The tap water here is really good, actually. Some of the best tap water I've ever had. Under here, we've got my suitcases and clothing. I think you could probably fit 2 suitcases under here closed. But for me, wanting to be able to get to my clothing easily, I've just kind of left it open and I'll slide it out and go through what I need in the morning. Over here is where I've been keeping my laundry bag, dirty laundry in there. Try to wash that whatever I can every 3 days or so. Mostly because you need a lot of socks to sustain yourself here. Over here we got my toiletry bag and a couple of towels just hanging out. Down here at the bottom, this is where the van heater comes from. So at night, to keep yourself warm, the heater works extremely well. The first time that I used it, I turned it up way too high and I literally woke up sweating. So that's a good thing because you're gonna need that in the winter. If you're visiting Iceland, definitely get a van with a heater in it. Just figure out what setting you wanna use. You can just kind of leave it on like a power setting, or I found that the thermostat temperature setting works really well. I've been doing like 21 degrees Celsius and that's been just about perfect for me. Little panel for that's over there, and they give you a little card on how to use it. So coming up here, we have my bed. Definitely spring for the duvet comforter over there. That's been really nice, because otherwise I think you just get these little blankets, they're actually quite comfortable. They're pretty nice, but they're small. And if you want to be comfortable when you're out here, definitely spring for the extra comforter. Pillows, you can also rent extra pillows. I think I got 2 extra pillows, so it comes with 2. Brings me to a grand total of 4. Probably don't need 4 pillows, but it's been nice just kind of having this super cozy bed back here. I've mostly just been sleeping on it like this. There's actually 2 bed mats here on top of each other, which has been super comfortable. But if you're staying with another person, or if you want more room in the evenings, this board slides out. Eventually it'll come all the way across, and then you can spread those mats out and have a bigger bed for yourself, or if you're traveling with another person. But for me, it would have been a lot of extra work to do that every night, so I've been comfortable on the one and I've just been doing it that way. Over here at night, you got these little curtains. You've got one here, one over by the driver's side, and a couple out back for privacy, keeps the light out. They work pretty well. I think in the summer you can rent blackout curtains to put Definitely in the windshield, maybe in the back, if you're dealing with that midnight sun. Yeah, so this is my living space. I've also got this little table over here that folds down. Haven't really been using that, but nice to know it's there. Nice to maybe use for some people. So that is my living space. If you come up here, I'm not proud of this, but this has kind of been my workshop with all my camera gear and batteries and chargers and all that stuff. So it's just been kind of, the passenger seat has been converted into my little workshop space. Obviously, if you're traveling with another person, you're not going to be able to do that. But for me, it's worked great. I keep my bag of custom trail mix up here. Good trail mix is all about having the right ratio of M&Ms to nuts, and then a good variety of nuts. So I usually actually make my own mix before doing a big trip like this. There's a lot of times in between stops where you can't always get to a restaurant or have a meal super easily. So this really goes a long way sustaining yourself out here. This power converter is something you can rent. If you're bringing a lot of electronics outside of a cell phone, you're definitely going to want that. I've needed it to charge my drone batteries, camera batteries, all that fun stuff. Also definitely recommend bringing a power cell as another source of power. It's come in super handy quite a bit on this trip. Down here, got my electrolyte water, my regular water, trash bag, which is very gross right now. Yeti. This has been super nice for keeping tea and coffee hot out here. Yeah, so USB port for your phone charger. If you only have the newer USB-C charger plugs, you're gonna need a little USB adapter when you come here. Put a link to those in the description. Super handy for here and other places in Europe where they don't have those newer connectors. Over here at night, I kind of convert the driver's seat into a storage for my coats and for this bag that all the bedding came in. It takes up quite a bit of space. During the day, I just throw it in the back, but at night, to get it out of my way, toss it up here. All right, so moving back to the rear end of the camper, I've actually started just leaving my cooler out at night to keep my food cold instead of buying ice. It works pretty well. I'm not really worried about anybody taking it. There's not really any animals out here who are gonna get into it. Just leave it shut, you shouldn't have any issues. Back here, you got more curtains, and you've got this storage down here. So this is my kitchen, which pops out. You can throw it up there, make tea, make eggs, that kind of thing. Make sure you rent enough gas cans, depending on how much cooking you plan to do. And then down here, you've got storage for all your kitchen stuff and supplies. They live in there, which can be a little bit of a pain to fit them all, but you know, you make it work. Over here, I've got my heavy duty snow boots, which have come in handy a few times. A little souvenir bag. And then there is actually quite a bit of storage. Oh, French press. If you're a coffee person, you can rent that from Go Campers. There's another bin down here. Kept some extra hiking gear. I ended up not really needing. The snow wasn't too bad on this trip, but it can be much worse, much deeper. So something to keep in mind, making sure you bring enough proper hiking gear, depending on what you plan on doing. The amount of snow on the ground can really vary each year. I think they've had a pretty mild winter this year, so I lucked out and I didn't need a bunch of it, but you got to come prepared. So yeah, this has been my home for 2 weeks. At first, I would say the first day was pretty difficult before I kind of figured it out and got organized. I would definitely recommend, as soon as you get in, organizing your van and figuring out how it works, finding a place for all your stuff. because once you figure that out, it's a lot easier. Once you got a system down in the evenings, once I started throwing a bunch of stuff in the front and leaving the cooler out, I definitely had enough space in the evenings. But before I did that, it took me a day or two to figure it out. It was a little bit of a pain, but overall, I've really liked it. Time has gone by really fast, actually. The bed has been surprisingly comfortable. I've been really happy with the bed and the heater. I wasn't sure what the sleeping situation was going to be like, which is the most important thing when you're out here. And it's gone quite well. So overall, I really enjoyed my Go Camper rental. Would definitely recommend checking them out if you're ever traveling through Iceland. My only tip would be the small van, I think, could be a little small for some people. If you're traveling with a pair of two people, you might want to consider going up and getting the next size up so you have a little bit more space to maneuver. But for me, it's worked out just fine. Yeah, so that's my little camper review. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode of MTV Cribs. Yeah, maybe you'll find yourself in one of these one day. And don't forget, if you need more help planning your winter trip to Iceland or figuring out what to pack, be sure to check out the links in the video description. There's also information about how you can join me on a future group tour of Iceland. I'll take care of all the dirty work and planning. All you have to do is show up, make some new friends, and enjoy the best that Iceland has to offer. Thanks for joining me on today's adventure. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to Travel with Wes for more exciting travel tips and inspiration just like this. Until next time, safe travels and thanks for watching.